Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief demo of NetworkON. So first of all, I'll be talking about what is NetworkON and what is the problem statement that we're trying to solve here. Then I'll be talking about the stakeholders that we have on NetworkON and what are the interfaces that we provide. Then I'll be walking you through an order journey on NetworkON. Then finally, we can talk about the major features that we have on NetworkON. So to start with, what is NetworkON? NetworkON is basically an AI powered B2B solution for services and pickup and delivery use cases. We basically cater into two different categories of use cases. The first one is pickup and delivery, which consists of business cases like food delivery, grocery delivery, logistics, taxi, etc. And the second category consists of services, where use cases are like home services, HVAC, plumbing, electrician services, roadside assistance, etc. Now to talk about what is the problem statement that we're trying to solve. So with the advent of on-demand industry, there are so many businesses who want to go online, but not everyone has the technical expertise or the financial requirements to build a platform from the scratch. And this is where NetworkOn comes in, providing them a ready-to-use and highly flexible solution which can meet their requirements and so that they can focus on the business rather than on the tech part. Now, moving on to the stakeholders. So, any on demand business generally has three stakeholders. The first one is the customer who places the order. Then we have admin who basically manages the whole operation and owns the operation. And finally, we have drivers or resources or agents, the people who are actually working in the field to complete those requests. So these are the three stakeholders. And if we talk about the interfaces, so for the customer, we basically have two interfaces. The first one is a customer app. So let me just show you that app. So the app which you are seeing on the screen is the customer app. It's a simple pickup and delivery app where the customer enters the pickup details and the delivery details and places an order. So this is the app version. You can see order history over here. Then you can see the settings and all those details are there. Then we also have a web version of the same app, which we call it as booking form. So you can see all the list of orders which have been created. You can just create an order from here, and we can also save your contacts or addresses where you want to create an order. You can see the analytics panel as well. So this is the web version of the same app. So you have all the functionalities on both the platforms. Then talking about the admin, we have this admin dashboard where he can see all the operation and manage the configurations and settings. We'll talk about all these in detail later on. And finally, if you talk about the resources or drivers, so we have a resource app. Let me just show you that. So the app which you're seeing on my left side is the resource app. So there's a list view, you also have a map view, and then you have settings as well. So you can just see all these options on the resource app where they basically receive the request and accept it and finally perform the operations on that job. So these are the interfaces. Let me just create an order and show you how the journey of a particular order comes from a customer app and then finally flows to the admin and finally to the resource. Let me just create an order for you. So we have this customer app. I can add the pickup details. So I have pre-filled a couple of details so that it doesn't take a lot of time. Otherwise, you can fill in all the details. I'll just add it as 7 p.m. as the pickup time. Then I can add delivery details as well. It's 8 p.m. So I have added all the details. Then I can click on proceed. I'll be redirected to the payment page where I can see all the breakup of that particular payment. I can choose my payment method like card or cash. I can add my card and I'll place the request. So as I have placed the request is transferred to the dashboard as well as the resource gets a notification in his app. So as you can see, so this is the notification which driver gets with the details of that particular order, and there's a timer going on for accepting that request. I'll just accept it. So as I have accepted it, the order has been assigned to me and I can see in my home screen. So once I select the pickup, I can see the details of that particular order, and I can basically chat or call with the customer. That's an in-app chat, which is between the customer and the driver. I can also see the stages of all those of that particular order. I'll just click on start, I have clicked on start. I can see other option as well. I can add notes, or if the admin wants me to add signature or images as proof of delivery, I can add that too. So some, in case of logistics, some of the uh, admins might want that they receive a receipt for the delivery as a proof, and they want the receipt to be added to the order. So a driver can add that image as well, and that will be saved in the database. Once I've like marked it as like started, I can also see the same order on my customer app. I can just click on here. I can see all the details. The customer can also chat or call with the driver. If I click on track, I can see the ETA and the tracking of that particular order on the map. So this is the ETA for that particular driver, and it will get updated in real time as the driver travels to my location. So this is the customer app. Let me just finish the order in the resource app. So I have, like for example, if I wanted to add any note, I'll just add a note, and then I'll, oh sorry. So I've added a note, I've added a signature, I can mark it as arrived, and then I can mark it as successful. So I have marked it as successful. I can move to the delivery task. I can perform the similar actions on the delivery task as well. I can mark it as successful start, then I can mark it as arrived, and finally I can mark it as successful. So my order has been completed, and as I have like marked all the stages, the same thing will be replicated on the dashboard as well as in the customer app. And this is how the particular like order has traveled through the journey. Moving on to the dashboard, if you talk about, so as you can see, this is the dashboard where you can see all the drivers and the orders which have been created on the platform. So for example, these dots are the drivers with the color denoting their statuses. For example, this is a busy driver, and these are idle driver or offline drivers, right? And similarly, we have the task as well. So you can see all the details of that particular task, color again denoting their statuses. If I click on any particular driver, I can see all the jobs which have been assigned to that driver. Right now, it has not been assigned any order. So let me just go to a date where he has been assigned to some orders. So you can see all the orders which have been assigned to that driver. If you want to see the timeline of that driver, you can also see the timeline. So whole path which he has traveled, all the statuses which he has marked at what time, at which location, you can see the whole view of a particular driver. Also, we have a very interesting feature which is called route optimization. So let's assume that you have 100 tasks for the day and you have 10 agents or drivers, and you want to assign all those orders to your drivers in a way such that each driver has to travel the minimum distance so that your operation cost is minimized. So what you do is basically take all those tasks, take all those resources, and route optimize them. So this will do what it will do is it will generate different routes for each of your driver, and ensuring that each driver has to travel the minimum distance. So this is one of the routes. So for example, this particular driver was assigned 4 orders, and it also gives the path which he has to travel to complete all those drivers in the shortest time. So similarly, other drivers will also be getting their routes, and these routes will be visible in their resource app as well. So this is one of the routes. Moving on to the dashboard again, then we can move on to the job section. So job section basically consists of all the jobs which have been created on the platform. You can see all the details. You can import them or export them. When you click on there, you can see all the details of the of that particular task. You can also see the history of that particular task, that at what stage or what time all the statuses have been marked. Moving on, we have a resource list. So all the resources which are there on the platform are shown over here on this list. If you want, you can also add resources or give the permission for your resources to be sign up from the app store itself. So in all the rebranded apps, you can just place the app on the store, and the resources can just sign up from the store itself. We also have customers list. So any customer who has ever created any order on the platform will be automatically listed over here. You can also add your own customers. Moving on to the analytics section. So we have different graphs and tables so that the admin can analyze all that data and take data driven decisions for his business growth. So as you can see, this is an overview dashboard of today's operation. So you can see all this tasks and their stages in what stage how many tasks are there. You can also see how many tasks are on time, how many are delayed, how many are in progress. Similarly, for the order status, resource status, you can see how many are free, busy, offline, and what is the distance that they have traveled in transit, and what was the ideal distance. Similarly, if you come to job, you have different reports, so that you can see the trends over a week, that and on what particular day what was the status of the jobs. You can see also the earning and pricing, so that you can get an idea of what is my earning from my customers, and what I am charging, what I am giving to my drivers. You can see all that trend. Then we have resource section. So in resource section, you have again data about your resources, their stages, in transit, idle distance, in transit time, and idle time. Finally, we have customers, so you can see the recurring and new customers, so that you can plan your marketing spend, that I need to spend more on my new customers, or recurring customers. This is a heat map. So right now we don't have any task on the dashboard, otherwise you can see heat map on the locations, so that you can get an idea that on what location we receive the maximum number of orders, so that I can assign my resources to that location for faster deliveries or faster services. So these are all the analytics graphs. You can if you want to have a graph or report of your own choice, that can also be done. Moving on to settings, so we have really interesting features in that. So let's first talk about teams. So like if you want to segregate your business into different teams, that can be based on geographies or business use cases, you can do that. So what you'll do is, for example, let's take an example that you have your business in New York and the other in Seattle. So what you'll do is you'll just go to geofences. Where is that geofence? Yeah. So you go to geofence, you basically add a geofence. So what you'll do is just mark a region on the map. So this is my geofence, and assign a team to that particular geofence. So all the orders which are coming within that geofence will be assigned to the resources of that team, so that the order and driver mapping is done. So this is how team works for geofences. Otherwise, you have other option, like if you have a business use case of pickup and delivery, and the other is home services. Both the drivers have different skills. So obviously you don't want the orders to be mixed. So that's why you create two teams, assign their corresponding resources in that team, and the orders will be mapped as per the team. So this is use of team. We have supervisors. So supervisors are basically admin of a particular team. So like if you have a very vast business expanding across geographies or different business use cases, you can just create teams, and every team is assigned a supervisor, so that who can overlook the operation of that particular team only. And if you want to give custom permissions to your supervisor, that is also feasible using your roles. So roles is something like, just create a role for head manager, right? And you give him the permissions whatever you want. Like some might want that the supervisor can create an order, other might not want it. Some might want that he can add a resource, other might not want it. So you can just give permissions as per your choice, create a role, and then assign that role to the supervisor, so that he can get all those permissions. So this is how role does, and it gives you a lot of flexibility as per your requirement. Then we have auto location. So as I've already talked about route optimization, that is one of the ways of assigning jobs. The second one is manual location. So whenever you're creating an order, you just assign a resource at that time only. That is manual location. The third way is auto location. So for example, if your business use case has a lot of volume, and you have so many orders coming on the platform, so it becomes practically impossible for you to manually assign it. So what you do is you basically use auto location. So we have two logics as of now. So send to all sends the request of order to all the eligible resources, and whoever accepts it is assigned the job. Then we have nearest first. So what it is, it send the request to the nearest driver first, and if it does not accept the request within the time frame, then it will move on to the second driver until someone receives it, accepts it. So these are the two allocation methods. We're also working on certain other allocation methods as of now, but which we'll see in the near future. Moving on to resource schedule. So resource schedule basically allows the admin to define the working hours of a particular team or driver. So the admin can just mark them as active. So green is active, white is inactive. So you can just mark all those working hours of that particular team, and the orders will be assigned to the resources only within their active hours. Geofence we've already talked. Moving on to templates. So while I was creating the order, you must have noticed that there are few fields like time, address, customer name, phone number, etc., which will be common in almost all on-demand business. So whether it's a food delivery or a home service, you would need these information. But there is some information which might be specific to a use case. So for example, if I talk about blood delivery, so if there's blood delivery case, you might need the medical history of that particular client or blood group, something like that. So what you can do is we have this feature called templates. So templates give you flexibility of adding your fields of your own choice and asking the customer to fill in the details. So for example, I have a pickup and delivery. I want to capture package weight and a reference image or tip as field from the customer. So I'll just added these fields, and the customer, when he's creating an order, he can see all those fields and he can fill in. Similarly, if I want certain fields to be added by the driver, I can just create a template, attach it to the task, and when the driver is completing the order, he'll be see all those fields and he can just complete all those. He can add all those information on that particular template. So template kind of gives the platform a flexibility to be like fit for any use case that you want. Roles we have already discussed. Let's talk about language manager. So this is kind of the USP, one of the USPs of the platform. So generally platforms have certain languages which are there on the platform, and you can choose just one of them. But what we have is we give you the freedom of creating your own language, because obviously American English is very different from the British English. So both a single English language cannot suffice the requirements of both the geographies. So what we have given here is, for example, I've added Spanish as one of my languages. I'll just select my platform, and I'll be able to see all the strings which are there for that platform. So I can add any language or anything, any string of my own choice, and the platform will be configured as per my choice. So I don't need to request the like us NetworkON team to add a language. I can just do it myself on the dashboard. So this is a really good feature which we have on the platform. Moving on, we have API keys. So API keys, basically this is an API key which you use to integrate with any other platform. So for example, if you're using Gloria Food to integrate with NetworkON, you just add this key to Gloria Food dashboard, and both the platforms will be integrated for order receiving. Then we have notification. So for example, if you have an order and you want to send order notifications to your customer, so that they are informed about every stage of that order, so you can just select any of these triggers. These are stages of a particular order. So for all those stages, whichever you want, for example, if you want to the customer to be notified when the order is arrived or started, you can just add SMS or email notification. You can also configure the text. You can add tags and configure the text and send the SMS email notification. We also have webhook option. So for example, if you have integrated your own website with NetworkON and you want the customer to be updated on the website itself, not on SMS and email, so you can just add a webhook and the information will be sent to your website and the customer can be updated on there itself. So these is notification. Then we have recurring rules. So recurring rules is a kind of feature which allows you to define a logic for order creation. So for example, let's take an example of network a newspaper delivery. So the newspaper is delivered to the same location at the same time every day. So you cannot create an order. Obviously you can, but it's a very troublesome task. So rather than that, you just create a recurring rule that I want the order to be created every day at 7 a.m. for this particular location. So once you create the rule, the order will be created automatically by the platform and it will be assigned to a resource. So that reduces a lot of your manual effort. So similar, all those repetitive or like recurring logics can be created and reducing your manual effort. This kinds of automates your business. Then we have earning and pricing. So whenever you are creating an order, you basically charge your customer and you also pay to your driver. So we have this feature where you can just define what is the rule for calculating that value for charging your customer and paying to your driver. So we have different parameters based on which you can just create a rule. For example, base fare, base distance, and you can also like have different stages. For example, for pace first 2 kilometers I want to charge $2. For 2 to let's say 4 kilometers I want to charge $5. From 4 to some for 4 and less beyond, I want to charge them as $3 per kilometer. So this is the rule I can create. We can also apply surge. For example, if I want to charge a surge rate of 2 on Sunday at this time, I can do that. I can also add constraints. For example, if I want to charge the customer based on the original distance the agent has traveled or the estimated distance that the Google has given. So I can do all that. So this basically gives you flexibility of managing your finances. Moving on, we have billing plans. So we have prepaid plans for monthly as well as annual subscription. So these are the plans. You can also see them on the pricing page in more detail. We also have a trial plan. So if you want to try your platform, you can just try your trial plan for 14 days. Moving on, we have extensions. So there are a couple of all these features which I've talked about are used by almost all our customers, but there are certain features which are required only by a few of our customers. So we have kept all those features in a separate category, that is extension. So for example, Gloria Food. So Gloria Food is a platform for restaurants to receive orders from their customer, but not everybody is receiving orders from Gloria Food. So we have kept it as extension. You can just add a API key on Gloria Food dashboard, and the Gloria Food will be integrated with NetworkON for seamless order push from Gloria Food to NetworkON. Similarly, we have other features as well, which are required by certain clients, so they can just enable it, and it will be automatically activated for your account. All right. So I think I have talked about almost all the features which we have on NetworkON. If you have any other queries, you can just reach us out, and we'll be more than happy to answer all of them. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.